So, we're in this unprecedented time with COVID-19 from a marketing perspective. Marketing organizations, around the world in all industries are trying to deal with this and to, in essence, replan their budget under kind of this new reality that we're in for 2020. So you're an expert in this area. Let me know your thoughts on, what are best practices around managing a replan like this?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jeff. And one of the things that's important to understand is that doing a replan is almost like doing your plan from the beginning. So there's a lot of what we recommend that sounds like you're actually building a plan, because you kind of are in a way. But there's an important first step when you're dealing with some kind of a traumatic event like the pandemic that we're all experiencing. And the first thing is about sort of analyzing your risk. And to analyze your risk, what you need to do is look at all the things that are on your plan, and then hopefully you have a system that will tell you for each of the events that you're committed to, as an example, how much of your budget is actually committed and spent in those events, how much is maybe planned but still available or not planned yet, and that will help you understand and scope the overall potential risk that you have to your budget. And then if you have to cancel those things, if there's some of the things that you cancel, then you're sort of giving that back. So that's your baseline, right? So now I've said, all right, I was going to spend $10 million. There were $3 million of events that I was going to do. $1 million was already committed and is lost. So I've got $2 million now left. So that if I did my math right, means $9 million. Then you have to go and say, all right, well, what happened to my overall plan? And then you need to figure out, all right, have my targets changed? So instead of this $9 million, maybe I only have $7 million to spend because the business conditions have changed all of a sudden. So identified your risk, what do you have to work with, what's your new reality, and then define what are your goals. Have your goals changed? Are your targets for pipeline? Are you going to launch the same products you're going to launch or not? Are there any key initiatives that you decided you're not going to do all of a sudden? So reset your goals. And you also need to look at your strategy. So if you've got a digital-centric kind of strategy, maybe you're cool. If you have more of a strategy that is a hospitality or a physical event-based strategy, you're going to have to look at your overall marketing strategy to see if it makes sense to get that to work. And then based on all of that, based on your strategy, your targets, your goals, you need to sort of recast your plan. And recasting your plan means you need to look at the major campaign themes that are designed to help you meet those objectives, conform it to the strategy that you defined. And then the last thing you need to look at, especially in this time, because we're still in uncertainty, is going through sort of some scenario planning. So it may be, for instance, we have some assumptions that the pandemic impact is going to affect things like physical events, through the summer. Right. But the question is, do you assume that things come back to normal in the fall? Or are they 50% in the fall? Or we're going to see a resurgence in the fall and all of a sudden we're going to have another set of cancellations? So ideally, you'd create a series of scenarios in your plan based on risk thresholds that you see from the future of things. So it's a lot to do. In some ways, it's more than building your first plan, it was the beginning of the year again, but it's critically important to do. And if you don't do it, if you don't do this kind of replanning, then you're not going to meet the targets that you have. And if you do a good job with this kind of replanning, you can really navigate your business safely through these turbulent times.
Excellent. So great advice during this very challenging time. So thank you for that, Peter.
Great. Excellent. Yeah, thanks for asking.